Have you ever wondered why your energy levels have dwindled? Or why that belly fat seems to cling to you more tightly than ever? You eat healthily, you make an effort, but your vigor just doesn't return. Many men assume that decreased libido, fatigue, and weight gain are simply inevitable after 60. Let me tell you a life-changing truth. It doesn't have to be this way. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo, and for decades I've helped older men rediscover their vitality, not with medication or extreme diets, but through the wisdom of what we put into our bodies. I deeply understand the challenges of this stage of life, the need for self-respect, and the genuine desire to maintain strength. Today, we're going to talk about a crucial and often overlooked topic: fruit. Yes, those health allies that, in the wrong form, can be silently sabotaging your testosterone, inflaming your arteries, and directly competing with your masculine energy. Get ready, because we're going to reveal the 4 fruits you should never eat if you want to maintain your vigor, and the 4 you must include starting tomorrow to regain your strength, vascular health, and overall well-being. Your journey to a fuller, more energetic life starts right now. Let's start right away with fruit number 1, the one many see as an absolutely healthy option, but which, in its conventional form, is a veritable hormonal Trojan horse: the strawberry. Yes, I know they're delicious, packed with antioxidants, and we associate them with vitality. However, here's the crucial problem we can't ignore. Strawberries consistently top the list of agricultural products with the highest pesticide load. It's not the strawberry itself that worries us, but the chemical residue it carries. These pesticides, once they enter your system, act like what we in medicine call xenoestrogens. Let me explain this simply. They are environmental chemicals that mimic your body's natural estrogen. Think of your hormonal system as a set of locks and keys. Testosterone is the master key to strength, libido, and energy. Xenoestrogen fits the same locks testosterone should, but it's a counterfeit key. It blocks the real action or fiercely competes with your male hormones. When your body detects this overload of fake estrogen from external sources, it reacts by trying to rebalance. How does this manifest in you? First, in that decrease in energy and desire you may have taken for granted, free testosterone, the testosterone that actually works in your body, is reduced. And most frustratingly, your body begins to store fat in a typically female way, resistant to diet and exercise, right around the waist and abdomen. It's a silent and very damaging cycle. I've seen many patients make significant changes simply by eliminating or replacing conventional strawberries in their diet. I recall the case of a gentleman. Let's call him Ricardo, 64 years old. He was frustrated because he exercised, but couldn't lose that stubborn belly fat he affectionately called his lifeline. His hormone tests showed decent levels of total testosterone, but his free testosterone was extremely low. Upon reviewing his diet, we discovered that every morning he drank a large smoothie loaded with non-organic strawberries. I asked her to do a 3-month experiment, completely eliminate conventional strawberries, and, if she had to eat them, make sure they were exclusively certified organic. The difference was remarkable. Not only did her energy and libido begin to return, but that stubborn belly fat finally started to melt away because we eliminated that constant competition for her hormone receptors. The key is endocrine health. If you value your vigor, you must understand that conventional strawberries, due to their structure and how they are grown, are a direct hormone disruptor. If you choose to eat strawberries, your only option is for them to be organic. Anything else is a direct gamble against your sperm quality, endocrine function, and testosterone levels. Avoid conventional strawberries as you would avoid a silent enemy. Now, the second fruit you should reconsider is the humble and seemingly healthy apple. Specifically, the commercially grown, overly sweet apple you find in any supermarket. Here we have a case of a double negative impact that directly affects the quality of your arteries. First, the toxic load. Apples are consistently among the fruits with the highest pesticide residue on lists of the most contaminated agricultural products, the infamous Dirty Dozen. But even if you peel them, which removes much of the fiber, mitigating the benefit, you still face the second problem: the layers of wax and preservatives applied after harvest to give them that shine and extend their shelf life, which are often petroleum-based or chemical fungicides that your body has to metabolize and eliminate. However, the critical factor for their vascular vigor and longevity isn't just the pesticide, but the sugar. Modern commercial varieties, think Fuji, Gala, or the popular Honeycrisp, have been genetically selected and intensively bred to be extremely sweet. They aren't designed for optimal nutrition or tough fiber, but for the modern palate that craves intense sweetness. When you eat a large apple of these varieties, you're ingesting a significant amount of fructose and glucose that hits your system like a simple carbohydrate. This glucose spike demands a rapid and strong insulin response. And this is where your nitric oxide, NO, suffers a significant chemical setback. Nitric oxide is the master molecule of vasodilation and relaxation. It's absolutely essential for achieving and maintaining a healthy erection, as well as protecting your heart and lowering blood pressure. But there's an inescapable biochemical truth. Excess sugar and chronic inflammation rapidly destroy or inactivate nitric oxide. They turn it off. Every time you spike your insulin with a high blood sugar peak, you're eroding your ability to efficiently produce and use NO. This is a silent attack on endothelial function, which is the inner lining of your arteries. If the endothelium cannot produce enough nitric oxide, NO, your blood vessels become stiff, lose their elasticity, and blood flow is compromised. I remember the case of Javier, a 50-year-old executive who thought he was eating a healthy diet because he avoided processed sweets, but he ate 2 to 3 large apples a day as a snack. His tests showed incipient insulin resistance, even though he was thin, and he complained of a progressive decline in the quality of his erections. He assumed it was stress, but it was biochemical. We had him replace those apples with very low glycemic options, such as organic berries or a small, tart green apple, like a Granny Smith, which has less sugar and more polyphenols. In just 2 months, his insulin sensitivity improved, and more importantly, he reported a dramatic increase in the firmness and responsiveness of his erection. He understood that the apple, traditionally seen as healthy, was directly sabotaging the chemistry necessary for his vascular performance. To protect nitric oxide and endothelial health, it is imperative to prioritize fruits that don't cause those destructive spikes in insulin and glucose. And this is where we need to talk about mangoes, the fruit that tops this list of foods for men looking to optimize their hormonal and vascular health, especially after age 45. A ripe mango, particularly a large R sweet variety, can easily contain between 30 and 45 grams of sugar, almost the equivalent of the glycemic load of a can of sugary soda. This tremendous glycemic load is a real strain on your pancreas. When sugar floods the bloodstream so rapidly, your body has no choice but to release a massive amount of insulin to handle it. This release is the direct trigger that not only sabotages the nitric oxide production we just discussed, but also impacts available free testosterone. Elevated insulin suppresses sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG, which reduces the availability of biologically active testosterone. Furthermore, we must consider the postprandial effect we mentioned. Many people eat mango expecting an energy boost from the glucose, but what they actually experience is a rapid spike followed by a sharp drop, a state of reactive hypoglycemia. This sugar roller coaster directly impacts brain biochemistry. Although tryptophan is the amino acid precursor to serotonin, the chemical associated with happiness and well-being, when consumed with a high sugar intake, the resulting excess insulin can cause tryptophan to enter the brain too quickly. Ironically, this doesn't translate into the vigor and focus we seek, but often into drowsiness, that familiar brain fog, or a feeling of emotional apathy and general sluggishness. It's a false calm that compromises your active energy and responsiveness. You're trading the high-octane fuel you need for male vigor, stable, non-efficient testosterone, for a fast-burning fuel that leaves you exhausted and lethargic within hours. This is the key to our approach. We're not demonizing fruit in general, but rather understanding each man's individual biochemistry as he ages. For a man 45 and older, whose metabolism is inherently less tolerant of glucose, frequent consumption of mango, very ripe banana, or even a large bunch of grapes becomes a habit that directly drives visceral fat gain and insulin resistance. Sugar that isn't burned immediately is easily stored as fat, and abdominal fat, remember, is hormonally active. It's a tissue that increases the aromatase enzyme, which converts your precious testosterone into estrogen. It's a vicious cycle. Sugary fruit raises insulin, insulin promotes fat storage, and fat kills testosterone. The solution is never to completely eliminate fruit from your diet, but rather to apply the science of portion control and variety. If you're going to consume a medium or high glycemic index fruit, like mango, it should be in very moderate amounts, or ideally, after an intense strength training workout when your muscles are most sensitive to insulin and eager to replenish glycogen. It should never be an isolated mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack, which is when it does the most damage to your blood sugar stability and nitric oxide production. Always prioritize fruits that are high in fiber and low in sugar. Always prioritize fruits that are high in fiber and low in sugar, such as berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, or citrus fruits. These are the ones that support your metabolic longevity, providing antioxidants without overloading your pancreas. And this is where we need to make a crucial distinction and move on to a group of foods that I consider much more problematic for male metabolism, especially after 40, dried fruits. This is an extremely common and underestimated dietary mistake, as they are perceived as a natural food or suitable for athletes. When fruit is dehydrated, think raisins, dates, dried figs, or the popular dried cherries, we're removing the water. The water in fresh fruit is the matrix that contains soluble fiber and acts as a natural, slow brake on glucose absorption. By removing 80% or more of the water content, you're exponentially increasing the concentration of free sugars. A cup of fresh grapes has a manageable glycemic impact. A cup of raisins, which is the concentrated equivalent of those grapes, is a veritable sugar bomb, causing a glucose spike that's almost indistinguishable from the one caused by a sugary soda. Dried cherries, often touted for their melatonin or antioxidant content, are a particularly dangerous culprit because the serving size is deceptively small and the sugar concentration is extremely high. The insulin spike resulting from consuming a handful of dried fruit, especially if eaten as a solitary mid-afternoon snack or, worse, before bed, has an immediate effect on your nighttime hormonal balance. It is precisely during the early stages of deep sleep that your body performs its most critical repair tasks, including the release of growth hormone, GH. This hormone is vital for maintaining muscle mass, repairing tissues, burning body fat, and sustaining your vitality. A surge of concentrated glucose and the subsequent insulin spike immediately before or during the first few hours of sleep dramatically inhibits this crucial release of growth hormone. You are sabotaging your own cellular recovery and renewal every night. And it's not just the sugar concentration that should concern us with dried fruit. Most commercially available products come with a double industrial hit. To prevent the pieces from sticking together in the packaging, many are sprayed with refined vegetable oils, such as sunflower or safflower oil, which are pro-inflammatory. More importantly, a large amount of sulfites, preservatives that maintain the bright color and extend shelf life, are used. Sulfites are known in biochemistry to be chelating agents, or blockers of the absorption of certain essential minerals, and one of the most affected is zinc. As we discussed earlier, zinc is a fundamental mineral in the testosterone production chain, from Leydig cell function to sperm quality and motility. If you regularly consume fruits containing sulfites, you are introducing a chemical barrier that actively decreases zinc bioavailability. It's a paradox. You're consuming a food you believe is healthy, but which is actually undermining one of the pillars of your male hormonal health. Therefore, the recommendation is firm. Dried fruit should be avoided altogether if your goal is to optimize testosterone, metabolic health, and sperm function. The glycemic risk and mineral lockout they cause are simply not worth it. If you need a quick energy boost, always opt for fresh fruit with high water and fiber content. If you're looking for something sweet to go with it, a square of high-quality dark chocolate, over 85% cacao, is infinitely better than a handful of raisins or dates. Now, if we shift our focus from simple, processed carbohydrates to the nutritional density offered by Mother Nature, we find an undisputed champion of the modern diet, the avocado. This fruit, often feared in the 1990s due to widespread misinformation about its fat content, is now recognized as an essential nutritional gem, especially crucial for men's cardiovascular and hormonal health. The avocado not only reverses the damage that foods like dried fruit can cause, but also actively builds a stronger physiological foundation. Avocados are primarily a source of monounsaturated fats, specifically oleic acid, the same type of protective and anti-inflammatory fat found in extra virgin olive oil. Why is this so vital for your virility and metabolism? Think of it like plumbing. Your blood vessels, particularly the microvessels that supply the erectile tissue, corpora cavernosa, and the testosterone-producing cells in the testicles, need to be flexible and maintain a smooth inner surface, the endothelium, free of plaque or inflammation. The monounsaturated fats in avocados work powerfully at the cellular level to reduce oxidative stress. When there is less rust or damage from free radicals, the endothelium remains healthy and functional. A healthy endothelium is directly responsible for producing and releasing nitric oxide. No. As we have emphasized previously, nitric oxide is the key molecule for penile vasodilation. It is the chemical signal that relaxes the smooth muscles in the artery walls, allowing blood to rush to the pelvic and genital area, thus achieving the firmness required for a strong and sustained erection. Consuming avocados is a direct and natural way to improve endothelial function and increase the body's own nitric oxide production, which is much more effective than resorting to supplements that promise miraculous results. Several clinical studies have confirmed the positive impact of regular avocado consumption. Not only has an improvement been observed in markers of erectile function, measured by standardized scales, but a beneficial effect on optimizing testosterone levels has also been documented. This occurs through two interconnected mechanisms. First, by reducing chronic systemic inflammation, the body frees up energy and metabolic resources that would otherwise be occupied repairing damage. Second, and perhaps most importantly from a hormonal perspective, the fat profile of avocados provides the structural support for the synthesis of HDL cholesterol. Cholesterol, contrary to old myths, is the fundamental precursor molecule from which the body manufactures all steroid hormones, including cortisol and, crucially, testosterone. If you follow a diet that is too low in healthy fats, you are actively limiting this essential hormonal raw material. A daily serving of half a large avocado, or a whole small avocado, is a simple, accessible nutritional strategy with profound therapeutic effects. It requires no advanced cooking skills. You can incorporate it into your breakfast, perhaps mashed with a little sea salt, pepper, and lemon, into your lunch salad, or simply as a nutritious side dish for any protein. In addition to its healthy fats and anti-inflammatory effects, avocado provides high-quality fiber, which moderates glucose absorption and improves gut health, and a significant amount of potassium, a vital mineral for blood pressure control, a factor inextricably linked to good erectile function. It's a nutritional investment that offers exponential returns in cardiovascular protection and sexual vitality. This food demonstrates that by focusing on the quality of fat, we can directly influence the strength of the circulatory signal. And speaking of fat quality, we've broken down how the quality of fat, exemplified by the avocado, acts as the cornerstone for both testosterone synthesis and optimal circulation and sustained sexual vitality. Now, I'd like to hear from you. What's your favorite way to incorporate this master fat into your daily diet to maximize its hormonal and circulatory benefits? Let me know in the comments. If you found this information valuable and would like to delve deeper into the science of longevity and functional health, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with anyone who might need it. Thank you for your commitment to your own health. Until next time, take good care. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo,